Whoa, Steeler Nation! Oh man, the con artist. Huh. Thank you for joining me on the Steeler Wage Show, coming to you from Southwest Michigan. And I just want to let you know, I found out about this news. I am just now coming home from work. It's probably around 5:15. Um, Heard the news around 3:20, 3:25 maybe this afternoon. Got to shave a little bit off the end of the day on a Friday. Good ass lead. But it was just a good day today, and I'm gonna let you know what kind of goofball you're listening to right now. If you watch past podcasts, you're not gonna see me crying like a girl on this one. I am happier, and I'm gonna tell you right up, straight up, um, that I've never been against Kenny Pickett that much. I'm not a quarterback guy. If you watch my podcast, I don't have a lot to say about the quarterbacks because I just don't. I'm not. It's not my deal. It's most people's deal. It's not my deal. You know. Uh, but uh, I've never been against him. I understand the. I think I do. But I am happier about Kenny Pickett being traded than I was 2 days ago. About Russell Wilson. That's the kind of guy you're listening to. So that's the kind of goofball things you're going to probably hear. But I honestly am. I mean, and it's not that I dislike Kenny so much. It's just the fact that I like the idea of the team. If they see, you have got to see by all these moves and the timing of the moves that this team has been doing, they are not paying for performance and hostages. I'm not going to get into whatever with the Kenny being upset, because that's all just hearsay. But if they saw something that they did not want to go forward with, I'm glad that they have nipped it in the bud. You know what I mean? I had to do this. I just came off from work, talked to my girl, and um, I just had to come out because this is my Friday. So, this is my whiskey night. So, I don't want to come in here 3 hours later from now going, this son of a bitch, he comes rolls out to the left. So no, you're getting this top shelf shit right now. Yeah, it's about as good as it gets. We all listen to these podcasters, right? And obviously, should never fucking ever be used again while we are under the management of Omar Khan, because there are no more obviously's. Please, folks, I put it out there. Send me your mock drafts. It's going to get wild. Okay? There are no, this is not going to happen. We are not going to get this guy because we have a Kenny, you're not going to not get rid of a Kenny Pickett who comes cheap, None of us podcasters know anything about the future more than you do, okay? We all just have wishes. Tell me your wishes in my comments. Please like the video if you would. Hit the subscribe button, do the bells. You get the notifications. Not like this is breaking news or anything, but the changes, like as Steeler fans, even if you're conservative like myself, I think I'm a conservative Steeler fan. I buy into the whole cheapness, not cheapness, that's not correct, but it is a thing. The whole bringing up your own people through the draft, this and that, not that, but we've seen teams like the Rams go and spend tons of money, and make a ring. And we've seen, I don't know how 49ers, I have no idea how they did their personnel last year. I don't understand that. But, we're doing humongous things and we still have a savings account. Like, Omar still hasn't mortgaged the house yet. I know we're a whole week into this free agency. Remember last year when I'm going to get back to Kenny Pickett leaving, but remember last year when we thought not last year, but necessarily during the end of last year, we're thinking about this team is going to be totally different because we had like a huge amount of people that were available to be lost. You know, even though it was only like Wallace, and I mean, you know what I mean. You know, this is a total change. Well, it's even been more so. You know, Deontay gone. That's cray, super cray. And now Kenny Pickett going to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm going to hit, this is just a first initial reaction to this. And maybe it ties in to the Justin Fields thing, but they gave away Kenny Pickett to the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what they got for him? Dick. Dick. How many dicks is that? A lot. So Reservoir Dogs action for you. We didn't get anything necessarily for a first round draft pick. Like, this is the first time I did cop this off of, I will give props to Steel Curtain Network with Jeff and one of the brothers. They came out and did something, and they did say something about how this is the first time since like the late 90s that the Steelers have moved away from a first round draft pick this quickly. The late 90s. Like, you say late 90s, you got to say that's 25 years. That's a long time. Things are changing. These times are changing. You know? And now you're going to hear about Justin Fields. Now, I am not all that pro Justin Fields. I am not. And I'm not all against him. I'm not going to fucking watch a Bears game. I'm just not going to watch him play. I don't, you know. So no, I guess I'm thinking about it again, you know. I have seen some. But I started thinking about it. All these podcasts always talk about how you have to, you'll just have to, obviously, you'll just have to sign him to that $25 million fifth-year option, right? Obviously. That's the only way that could be possibly done. Nothing is obvious now with Omar Khan. He can do amazing things. Amazing. I'm sure there's going to be some bad ones out there that's come too. You know, it will happen. But I mean, he is a swashbuckler. And I don't know. It's the things that are available now. You know, like with Justin Fields, I know this is that we are at this point into the offseason, a fat weekend, and he's still a Bear. And, you know, it is drying. These other teams, Atlanta is picking the Falcons. And, you know, other teams are picking different quarterbacks. And his sellability is getting less and less and less, you know. Valuable, you know. Oh, sellability. I mean, there's literally a smaller, limited amount of teams that would be even interested, right? Are in a position to be interested, and that number is getting smaller and smaller. So, like I said, all these podcasters talking about, well, you have to give him that. You have to go ahead and give him. Don't listen to us. The only way you listen to us is if you are trying to learn something about something, and that podcaster might open your mind. You know what I mean? Like, that's the truly great ones out there that I see. They say things that open my mind and give my own imagination and wishes and things I have about the team. What happens if we just rented? What if we didn't? What if we just said, you know, I don't want to get sloppy with it by saying 6th and 5th. But let's just say we're going to have a fourth, and the Bears accepted it. It all dries all the way out, right? And the Bears accept a fourth and throw in a couple of these sevenths that we got from Mason Rudolph in 25. And don't pick up his option. Sends a fourth round draft pick. Don't pick up his option. Now, I don't know how much you follow the draft. Fourth round draft picks don't go very far usually. I mean, they ought to, but they don't. We were fortunate last year, and we have been fortunate in the past. Other teams have been fortunate. But fourth round is it's leaning towards the developmental side. And I think that I'm not coming up with, even if we were to blow a third round on him. Like I said, I'm not the pro Justin Fields. I'm not anti. I know he's an athlete, But what about this scenario? What about if I'll say fourth. All right. For all those people that love Justin Fields and think he's so valuable, I don't think it's going to come to this because Con's too good. I won't say third. I'm not even going to go there. If Bears released him to us for, say, the fourth round, a couple of those seventh in 25, something like that. Who knows? I don't know the numbers. But something like that. I don't think that's too greedy to say. And we say, okay, we're going to take you in. We're not picking up your fifth-year option. You're not good enough. Okay. We got Russell Wilson here. Come on in, Justin Fields, and we are going to use you either one as a bench warmer. We got you for 1 year as a bench warmer. Fourth round draft picks don't usually do much. Third round draft picks don't do a lot of the times. Okay. And maybe with this offense, because a lot of men that know offensive play, as far as men and women, I should say, I just don't know any women podcasters that I follow. He could fit the Arthur Smith's offensive scheme. Okay. Of course, he's just a fumble addict, needs to go to meetings. There needs to be a fumble addict anonymous meeting. Justin Fields needs to go there, do the 12 steps, and come out a better player. But I'm thinking, why don't we just get him, not do the fifth year option? One, he can either just ride the bench and back up Russell Wilson. Okay? Ride the bench, fill a position. But two, and I think this would be more exciting, go ahead and just abuse the shit out of him. Put him in there on 9 plays a game, and just fuck up defenses out there. Fuck him up. Maybe he'll run. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll run. Maybe he won't. And just constantly go back and forth so that there's no rhythm to it, and rent this cat. The reason why I'm saying rent him is because I don't know if any of you are out there are homeowners. There's a way of buying a house, like you rent to own, leased option, right? Where you can go into this house, you rent it, you use it for the amount of time, and at the end of that deal, you have the option, you can buy it later, right? If you want. It's not exactly the same, but say given either one of those two things, if we bench him, he's going to be worth less now than what he would be. He's going to be worth less then than he is worth now, and the Bears are having a hard time selling it. Damn it. Cock smoker. Fuck, I'm off center again. You get too excited. I've never done a podcast this early in the afternoon. Or it's like 5:30 probably. Darn it. Makes me mad when I do that. But put him in the pistol. Abuse the shit out of him, you know? Or bench, or just have him ride Pine, you know? If he rides Pine, he's worth less at 25, and you just offer him a contract of something at the end of that, whatever Khan feels like offering him. If you use him in the pistol, you use him in different opportunities, showcases him, you're still gonna fuck Justin Fields. You're gonna compartmentalize him. That's the longest word I've ever used on this podcast. Compartmentalize him even more so. And when you do that, you are also devaluing the player. Even if he is more valuable at this thing he does, overall, he is worth less. So now he's even easier to sign. Right? We have Russell on this one year, you know. So I think he could be re-signed. If he doesn't, you're going to know what's going on with Russell Wilson. Maybe you want to give him some money. Give him the bag. Figure that out. But it puts you in a situation, I would just rent and abuse Justin Fields. And I don't even know that much about him. But just, he's not going to mess up when you're only using him 6-7 plays a game. He wants to show off. He is an athlete. And he could burn people. He could burn defenses. He could keep everything confusing. If we were to do something like that, I'd even do the third now. I've been dismissing all this stuff, but now I'd even say the third for a 1-year rental. Man, think about it. Like, we're talking about a draft pick, but like, again, I'm going to go back to the Rams. Look at all the stuff they spent to do the deal that they did. Tampa Bay, all these teams that just go all the frick in, and they have to pay for it for years. Losing a 4th or a 3rd round draft pick on a rental superstar would not be that bad of a thing. And then even if you could clean it up at the end, that's crazy. Okay, so that's all I got to say about the Justin Fields thing. I hope, please give me your thoughts on that. Am I whack for thinking that? I mean, all these teams spend these big money on these contracts, these free agency contracts, to get these stars, to get this team usually to pop that year. But, pop within 2 years. It's going to be not to be so good the third. Rent it. Find out if you like it. Rent it. Find out if you like it. You're renting fucking Russell Wilson right now. That's a rent. That is a rent. I think the Steelers knew that I think they knew a long time ago, to be honest. But I think they knew back at the Cincinnati game after Matt Canada was fired. And it was I remember getting caught up in that 400 number, but it was a pretty kind of pissy performance. I mean, it was the most non-quarterback way to get 400 yards after we got rid of Matt Canada. I was still excited, and I know you were too. But it was the most non-quarterback way to get that amount of yards. I think they knew then, that this is not our guy. A lot of these podcasters, influencers, like to talk about the idea of you have to have 3 years to see what you have with the quarterback. And I have said on past podcasts, I don't think that's the way it is from the management point of view. I think that's the way it is from the fan point of view. These managers, Omar, Mike Tomlin, Andy Weidel, the owner, Dan Rooney, all these people, now it's not like with Kevin Colbert. We're not just sitting and waiting to figure out what happens. Rip the bandage off, okay? I'm screwed. All right, I'm done with that. That's what they're doing. All these this off season has just been a bunch of ripping off bandages. Like, I'm done. I'm done. No, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. Cole gone. Trubisky gone. Chooks gone. Hart Presley gone. Just Peterson gone. This is not what we are going to pay for anymore. We're not paying for this anymore. We're going to have to figure out something, but we're not going to pay for that anymore. And the whole thing about the hostages and stuff, this and that, man, I wish Kenny Pickett were the best. I thought that I never had anything really against him. And, to be honest, I thought he was kind of in a shit show trying to push a square, roll a square uphill. I mean, it just seems from a fan perspective, a lot of different tough things. I said earlier, I want you to please, because like I said earlier, obviously should never be listened to. If you hear another podcaster use the word obviously, just say, I don't think you know everything. Let them know. They have a great show. Let them know. Hey, I like this part. This is the part that made me think differently. Because we don't know. Nobody knows. And I'm not dissing on those guys. It's not even about that. It's just that we are all in this together, Steeler Nation. That now it's all out. Everything is out on the table. There are no more obviouslies. Omar Khan and the Pittsburgh Steelers have let us know you and I do not know what they're doing. We can all debate, comment, podcast, this and that. We don't know. Don't know. The best bet you're going to probably have of getting some type of insight is people that are close to the field, the practices, the locker room, things like that. But they don't know either. And I really like them. They're probably surprised too. Please send me, if there's some way, send me your mock drafts. Because now everything is open. You could be looking at a quarterback in round one. Isn't that crazy, dude? Pick a quarterback, and the Steelers to pick a quarterback in the first round. And now there is a chance we might be doing that again. So I want to hear your opinions. And there's still that wide receiver value. That's the thing that's been creeping up with the Deontay trade. We have to fill gaps. Like, they're making these rad-ass signings, but they're just like, for every 2 things we fill, we lose 3. For every 2, it's not legit, but you know what I mean? Like, we're kind of going backwards here. You know what I'm saying? Like, but everything's going to be cool, man. And we got the draft. We have undrafted free agents that are going to come around. It is a wonderful time to be a Steeler fan. I guess, I'm not, like I said, I'm not into quarterbacks, but now I guess I got to look at Penix. I saw him in that last game of the season. Bo Nix, I got to look at him now. Maybe these are opportunities. Maybe there's some other people that they're looking at. Who knows? Maybe they go up for the Michigan kid. I don't think that's possible, but that's it. I could tell you, like, they're not going to go up for the McCarthy. But I don't know. It's the raddest time to be a part of Steeler Nation. Tell your friends, man. I think about like that Penix kid. Like, look, we all see all the time. We need to have Broderick on the left side. That's his place. That he needs to be on the left side, right? Well, because now tackle may be off for the first round draft. I for the first round. I've been leaning away from that anyway because I don't want to go offensive line 2 years in a row, first round draft. So I've been kind of leaning away from that, thinking that they're going to go something else. But now I think it's definitely off. If you're thinking that they might be looking at a quarterback, if they don't do the Fields bullshit that I'm telling you about. Everything's on the table, folks. I just hope you have a great weekend. Wow, dude. I mean, best of luck to you, Kenny Pickett. I can't believe that. God, that would just suck. Your first 2 years to be under Mason Cole. You know, that would just. What a shit. I mean, sometimes you roll the bones and they just. But shit, man. I mean, it's just shit, and he's trying to become a man inside of this NFL. And, like, from what all accounts are, Mason Cole is like the raddest cat in the world. He just can't snap a fucking ball, and that's what you're supposed to be doing together, and that's what his first 2 years were. I know that doesn't explain the Matt Canada offense. I know that doesn't explain slow starts with the running game. I know that all that stuff. But put it in my, I do feel for Ken. I do on that one part. And that'll probably be the most obscure sympathy that any of these influencers like myself are going to say. That's the one thing of all the things of being slighted, this and that I do feel the most sorry for Kenny is that he had a shit center play while he was here. And he probably really liked the guy. So it's all about ripping off bandages. Folks, I'm going to come at you again. This was just an initial reaction. It's Friday night, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Like I said before, if you would, I'm going to tell you, I think I'm going to have some good news on the next podcast because right now I am at 149 subscribers, and I don't get very proud of myself. I'm not someone that gets, and I'm not a depressed man, but it's just like, I just don't get proud of myself. I don't get proud of things that I do. It's not about being humble or I'm better or anything like that. It's just not I'm probably more of it's the superstitions maybe I would have than having those feelings. So I don't have that. But tonight, as I'm doing this podcast, I am at 149 subscribers. And I have had some really cool guys ask me to be on their program. And probably after this video, I will break 150 subscribers. So if you would be the 150th, I would really appreciate it. I have 1 year doing this podcast coming up on the 24th, and I'm kind of trying to want to work out something with Jason from Mike Drop Sports. Maybe doing something on the 22nd. He was talking about a Friday night show, so that'll be my first live. And I'm not a very popular man. I don't need to be a popular man. I've always had too big of a mouth. I don't say correct things, and I don't, But I will say this, that 149 subscribers is that I just really think it's just Steeler Nation, you're so cool, dude. You all wacky people. You all wacky. We are having wacky times. So I'm going to come back this weekend with something with a hard head on. And I want you to have a great weekend. Because you know why? I love to pump you up. AMF Steeler Nation.